Okay, let's get started. Thank you everyone for joining us today for our Preparing for CWRU webinar. This webinar is designed to help you as students starting at CWRU this spring 2025 to understand our onboarding and orientation process. We'll talk a little bit about our Discover Days program and give you the opportunity to ask any questions that you have. So to kick things off, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Kathy Petrus, and I am the director of our orientation program at Case Western Reserve. We're excited to be welcoming you to Cleveland and campus in January. And with me, I have three of our orientation leaders, so I will go ahead and let them do a introduction of themselves, and then you'll get to hear from them a little bit more later on in our webinar. So whoever wants to get started.
I guess I'll just go. But hi, my name is Patrick Terza. I'm a sophomore now, so I came last semester, also spring admit. I'm from the suburbs of Chicago, Orland Park, a little south, if you know where that is. I'm a neuroscience psychology major, and I wanted to add this question in for myself. What makes me a nerd? So what makes me a nerd is I like to play video games sometimes, and I also watch anime, and, just like the typical fun stuff.
I can go next. I'm Shrila. I'm also a sophomore. I'm also from Chicago and majoring in medical anthropology. And a fun fact about me is that I'm a lead on our classical Indian dance team here. So.
Hi, I'm Shrehan. I'm a junior. I'm also a spring admit. I'm from India. I'm an international student. Um, I'm studying computer science, and yeah, what makes me a nerd is in my free time, I watch YouTube videos explaining how things work.
All right. Thank you all for sharing. And like I said, you'll be able to hear from them a little bit more about their experience as students at Case Western Reserve. As they mentioned, they all started in the spring, just like all of you, and have been a part of our orientation program this past year. And so they're really excited to share their experiences with you all today. As we go through the webinar, there is a Q&A function. So if you do have questions, we will get to those, but feel free to pop those into the question and answer portion as we go. But like I mentioned, we'll have time at the end of our webinar strictly devoted to answering your questions. So we've already made it through the introduction and welcome piece. We will be talking about the spring roadmap, which launched last Thursday. We'll be talking about some additional webinars that will be coming up over the course of the next few months. We'll be talking about Discover Days, which is our in-person orientation program. We do also have programming for our parents and family members, and so we will share a little bit more about those details. And then, as mentioned, our three wonderful students here are going to share some advice for all of you as you prepare to begin at CWRU. All right, so again, our spring roadmap, our webinars, and Discover Days, that's what's on our agenda today. So the spring roadmap, as I mentioned, this launched last Thursday along with your orientation newsletter. So hopefully you've had the opportunity to get started on items that are on the roadmap. So throughout the next few months, your roadmap will have information and tasks that you need to complete before coming to campus. When you go to the roadmap, it will link you to these different forms that you need to complete. So please pay attention to those deadlines and the items that you need to complete. It's all designed to help you feel prepared to start in January. So just as a reminder, this is what the roadmap, part of the roadmap, I should say, looks like on our website. And so when the links go live, they will turn blue and you'll know that you have items ready to complete. We also list all of these items within the orientation newsletter every time a new item launches on the roadmap. So currently you can see here what is available for you all to complete. So making sure that you upload your photograph for your Case 1 card. If you want to update your preferred name for that, you can do that through the student information system. Disability accommodations, should you need them. And some of the big ones, because these are going to help prepare you for course registration, are submitting information for your advisors, completing your math placement, and that's only if it's applicable to you. And if it's not, you will not see it in your internal portal. And then also letting us know if you plan on sending any test scores or college credit that you may be eligible for. And so these are all things that you need to make sure that you do in order to be prepared for course registration. And your advisors, the first advisor that you're going to meet is your 4-year advisor. And you should have gotten an email today with the name of that 4-year advisor and instructions on how to set up an appointment with them. So just a note of the things that are happening this week as well. So some frequently asked questions we get about the roadmap. So one, I've uploaded my picture, but it's not checked off in the system. So when you're in your portal, there are certain items that you can complete immediately and you'll see the green check mark, but there's a few things that may take like 2 to 3 business days in order to complete. And so if you don't see the green check mark immediately, give it a few days. And if you're still not seeing it, then that's an easy thing that we can look into, and you can definitely email us at orientation@case.edu, and we can look into maybe why that green check mark has not appeared yet. Soon, actually November 7th, the housing application will open. So you at least have an idea of when that will happen. So if you do have questions about housing or the housing application when it opens, we recommend you calling housing or emailing housing directly, and they would be able to support those questions that you have. And so then the last one we often get is that the roadmap shows that an item will open today. Why can I not access it? Because generally we time a lot of these items to open at 7 p.m. Eastern, along with when the orientation newsletter is sent out each Thursday evening as well. So the orientation newsletter, you got your first issue of it last Thursday. That is sent pretty much every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. We won't send one during the Thanksgiving break, but we'll get right back on target. And so you'll get your orientation newsletters every Thursday through December. And then when we start our spring semester in January, you will also continue to get a newsletter that updates you with helpful information that's happening on campus every week. In the orientation newsletter, we will, as I mentioned, remind you of deadlines, any upcoming events, important information, and we also include some advice from current students. A lot of our students also participated in some fun videos, so make sure that you watch those in each edition of your newsletter. Parents or guardians, you will also receive the orientation newsletter. If you feel that you are not receiving that, it is sent to whomever the student has listed in their system. And so if you are not receiving them, your student needs to be the one to email our admission team at admission@case.edu to confirm that you needed to be added to their account. And then you can also find all of our articles archived on our website. And so that's an easy place to go and follow up with anything that maybe you missed from the newsletter. All right. So the next part I mentioned is we're going to talk about some upcoming webinars that we will have available for students and our families, sometimes separately, sometime together. So they will run from October through January. Registration for these will be in the newsletters, as well as sometimes, especially for our families, we'll send a direct email to you letting you know the opportunities we have available. We will have upcoming webinars for students related to course registration. We will have some upcoming webinars related to our health and counseling services, including any questions you may have about student health insurance and procedures for just getting general medical care. And so our team from University Health and Counseling will be hosting those webinars in November. And our family programs office will also be hosting some webinars specifically for parents and families and guardians, just including you and offering you some time to understand how to best support your student as they start at Case Western Reserve. So please be on the lookout for those through the newsletter, as well as some direct emails. And as it says there, recordings will be posted on our website. We do ask that you just give us a little bit of time to get those ready to go and put on our website. And then we will also note those in the newsletter each week when they are available. So the last thing before I turn it over to the students is our Discover Days program, which is our in-person orientation program. So this is everything that happens once you come to campus. And so whether you are living on campus in January or you are commuting to campus, Discover Days is for you as a new student. So the Discover Day schedule for January is goes from the 8th of January through the 11th. Move in for all new students is the 8th, and you will get information shared with you through the orientation newsletter on the process for moving on campus. We have Discover Days programming and events for our parents and families on the 8th and 9th. And then for all of you new students, we will have programs that run through Saturday, the 11th of January. And then as you can see there, the first day of classes starts Monday, January 13th. So through these few days, we'll start to get you prepared to get ready for classes on Monday. So during Discover Days, you will meet fellow classmates and returning students, and those returning students are serving as orientation leaders, and you'll become acquainted with campus and your residence hall community should you be living on campus. And it's also a time to learn about CWRU resources and opportunities that are available to you. And so the program is required, as mentioned, for all new students, but it is a lot of fun as well. Our orientation leaders are always so excited to spend time with you. You will be in a small group of your peers with generally 2, maybe 3 orientation leaders that will be your guides throughout those 4 days. And we also have a lot of fun social activities in the evening as well. So it's really an opportunity for you to get to know more about Case Western Reserve, but also get to meet a lot of really great people in the process. Our schedule should be available in early November, and we will post that on our website as well as share that information through the newsletter. So we're currently working on just fine-tuning and confirming a few programs, and then that schedule will be posted and ready to go for everyone. As mentioned, there will be programming for our parents and family members should you be joining your student on campus in January. On Wednesday, we will have a parent and family welcome session while the students are off meeting their orientation leaders and spending time in their small groups. And then on Thursday, we will have our information fair, which will be an opportunity for you to stop by tables and meet people from various campus departments. This will happen in Calvin Smith Library, which is the main library on campus. We will have our university welcome and luncheon that will take place on Thursday, and you will have an opportunity to meet some various faculty and staff and leadership of the university. And then we will also be having a student panel. So it's always a great opportunity to hear from our students and learn a little bit more about what the student experience is like overall. And so those will all be in-person opportunities, as mentioned, should you be joining your student on campus in January. A few frequently asked questions about Discover Days. Are meals provided? So yes, meals are provided for students during Discover Days. They will receive information about meals and where they can eat when they check in for orientation. We do have a luncheon on that Thursday, January 9th, for all students and family members. So that lunch would include all of you as family members. One of the items that will be released tomorrow in the orientation newsletter is submitting information for Discover Days and letting us know how many family members would be joining you for the experience, and making sure that we're ready for that. Family members, parents, if you're staying overnight, we do have a list of hotels that are affiliated with Case Western Reserve on our website. So if you go to the parent and family orientation page, there is a link to various hotels that we do recommend. And the last common question we get is, can I send items to campus prior to my arrival? And yes, you definitely can. University Housing will begin accepting packages 1 week before your arrival date. And at that point, you would have the address to your residence hall building, and then you can make sure to send those packages. They will be delivered to the main area office, and then you'll just be able to pick those up when you arrive for move-in day. And so at this point, we've gone over the main information. I did notice that there were some questions popping up in the chat, but right now I'm going to turn it over to the students to offer some of their advice, especially as they have been in your shoes and have been actively involved in the campus community since their arrival. And so I don't know if you all want to go in the same order or if somebody's ready to start right now, but I'll turn it over to you all.
I mean, yeah, I guess I'll go first again. But so two of the biggest worries I had when coming to campus were, one, how am I gonna make friends? Two, oh my God, I'm so far behind. I'll start with the first one. How are you gonna make friends? Honestly, the people that you'll be with during spring orientation and like all the spring admits, just having that connection, being a spring admit, that helps so much because you can bond so much faster. I feel like because I was a spring admit, I was able to bond with a lot of people. And my main friend group actually consists of 10 spring admits, which is kind of crazy. Um, and also clubs and stuff. Basically, what I'm trying to say with this is like you'll get what you put into it. If you try to make that effort of like making friends, you'll find your people. And I feel like in college in general, like you'll always find your people. For the second one of like being behind, I know a lot of people take classes in the fall during like their like gap semester. I didn't take any classes, so I was really far behind, or at least it felt like it. But then I took a couple summer classes, and I'm basically at the same place as everyone else. Um, and then also AP credits. AP credits definitely helped a lot with that. If that's something your school offered. But yeah, I'm now in the same classes as most fall admits, so I'm totally fine with it. It's all doable.
Okay, I can go next. Yeah, going off of what Patrick said, I also felt like very overwhelmed just because you're kind of coming in the middle and you don't really know what to expect. But yeah, Discover Week, Discover Days was probably, it was very helpful to meet people that are in the exact same boat as you. Actually, like my current best friend right now, I met her through, she was in the same orientation group as me. So yeah, it is what you put into it. So if you go there and you like have a really positive attitude and you try to meet people, then it'll be really easy to kind of fit in with everyone else. And then Kathy was discussing some of those webinars. Those are also really helpful before you go because they kind of give you a baseline of what to expect. Like I remember learning about like the supplemental instructions sessions, which are really helpful, like peer tutoring, office hours, all of that information you get through like those webinars. So I would recommend attending those. And then as far as like clubs and stuff, we offer like an activity fair during Discover Days, and I think that all students should go to that because you get to talk to every single club that's there. And like it can feel really hard to kind of start since they've been meeting already for a semester. Like I know a lot of spring admits didn't feel like they could until the next fall, but I kind of jumped in straight away, and now like I'm on the exec board for 3 different clubs. So like I feel like you really need to find what you like to do, and it doesn't matter if you start in the middle. You just need to be dedicated, and don't be afraid to be the new person. So I guess those are my tips.
Hi. Similar to Patrick, honestly, my main concern coming to case as a spring admit was how am I going to make friends, especially considering I'm pretty much an introvert. So already that was my main issue. But honestly, like he said, so many like all of the spring admits tended to have such a strong bond, and so many of my friends, so many of my closest friends were spring admits. Well, not like I don't know how to explain this. Okay, now I'd say like being here for 2.5 years, 1.5 years. I've been here for a while. Um, I'd say now, or it doesn't even feel like I joined late. It feels like I've been here the same amount of time as everyone else. I'm friends with pretty much everyone who was fall admits, spring admits, whatever. Classes wise, I'd say I didn't take any summer classes. I didn't take any. I came in with a couple of credits, but not a lot, honestly. And I'm still planning to graduate with everyone in the fall. So if that is like a concern, which was one of my biggest concerns too, it's not really hard to catch up with everyone. And most classes are structured in a way that they like because a lot of classes have prereqs that are other classes, and then it's like I should have taken this in the fall and now I'm already behind. But honestly, you can take classes whenever, and as long as you meet the requirements, you'll be fine. And it's not really hard to catch up with everyone else in terms of classes. So yeah.
Thank you, all of you, for sharing that.